Hey y'all, it's Christmas Day and I'm making my gumbo and I'm going to show you how to make it. This is my recipe and there's the back, and don't worry about trying to read it. I'll type it up and put it in the description box below. And for this recipe you're going to need shrimp with the shells on, and the reason you need the shells is because you boil the shells in water and add the broth to your gumbo. You're going to need corn oil, all-purpose flour, chicken broth, scallops, lump crab meat, andouille sausage, 1 Cornish hen, which is a small chicken, like a very small chicken. If you don't have one of those, you can use like 2 or 3 drumsticks. Water, onion, 3 stalks of celery, half a green pepper, 1 large can of peeled tomatoes, 12 to 15 pieces of okra, a bay leaf, I use 2 bay leaves, garlic, salt, Old Bay seasoning, cayenne pepper, and filet powder. Here is my shrimp and my veggies. I'm going to wait and cut the okra when it's time to put it in because they turn brown once you cut them. Now for the chicken broth, what I do is I boil my Cornish hen and I use the broth that comes from that. And if I need more, I'll use some store-bought or some water. And be sure to skim all of the scum off of your pot. My chicken broth is done. My chicken is done, so I set it aside. These are my scallops. And you want to save the juice that's in your scallops for the gumbo. Here are the shrimp shells. They're gonna boil and turn pink, and then you strain it and you use that juice for your gumbo as well. And then here's all my spices. Okay, I peeled the shrimp and boiled them, and I saved the broth. I also boiled my chicken and saved the broth. When it cools, I'm gonna take the chicken off the bones and throw the bones away, but now I'm gonna get a pot and start with my oil and the flour to make a roux. Okay, as you can see, my shrimp are boiling. I'm gonna let it boil for a couple minutes to kind of reduce. And then I started my roux. And you want this to get dark brown. Then you can add your vegetables. Right now it's like a light tan color. You want to cook this for about maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes until it gets dark brown. My camera cut off, but it was a dark brown, so I slowly added my chicken broth. So right now it's just chicken broth and the flour roux that I made. Once you get all the flour off the bottom, you can start adding your vegetables. Now the recipe called for onion, celery, bell pepper, and I did not have a green bell pepper, so I used an orange that I had. I had orange bell pepper, garlic, and your okra. And the garlic, onions, peppers, and the celery is in the bottom. There's celery. So I have all my vegetables here, and I'm going to slowly add them to the broth, and I'll be back. Okay, I took all of the chicken off my bones. I took the scallop juice that was in here and I put it in here with the shrimp broth because I drained the shells that were back there. And then this is the gumbo. This is the roux with the chicken broth and all of the vegetables. I just added it. It just came to a boil. I'm trying to take it off the heat so it doesn't steam up the camera. So you can see all of the peppers and okra and onions. So now I'm going to add my tomatoes. Already added that. My bay leaves, the cayenne pepper, Old Bay seasoning, and salt. And you're going to boil this for 45 minutes. So I'm going to add all of that. And then I'm going to put a timer on for 45 minutes, and then I'll be back. And I put a teaspoon of the cayenne pepper in mine. The original recipe called for a half of a tablespoon, which I think is a teaspoon and a half, so it's not that much less. If you don't like a lot of heat, because this is really hot gumbo, then do like a half teaspoon or a quarter teaspoon and then add more to your taste. But we like it spicy. I would put a tablespoon or a half a tablespoon in it for me and my husband, but the other people in this house don't like it hot, so this is what I put. So there's that. I'm going to add all of that, and then I'll be back. Okay, I added the bay leaves and the tomatoes and all of the spices except the filet powder, because you add that last. And I'm going to bring this to a simmer, and you're going to simmer this for 45 minutes, which I have on my timer right there. So my timer is going, and I'll be back in 45 minutes, and then we're going to add in the meat. Okay, the gumbo is simmering along. We have 29 minutes left. I'm also preheating my oven because I'm going to start my cornbread. Cornbread takes 20 minutes. And I have everything ready to go. I have my shrimp broth, scallop broth, and I also use the juice from the cans of the lump crab meat. Don't use imitation crab meat. It's nasty. I mean, it's good, but it's not good in gumbo. Use real crab meat. I have my shrimp. Sausage. This is the smoked andouille sausage. This is hot, real spicy. The chicken, the crab meat, and the scallops. So I'm going to add all that when my timer goes off. While the gumbo is cooking, I wanted to show you all the other stuff that we're having. This is a Yule log that I ordered from a market. French pastry lady, and she sells them. They're so cute. This one is chocolate ganache. And some potpourri that me and the kids made. And the kids' gingerbread house. There's the oranges, the clove oranges that they made. And here is the cupcakes. Well, what's left of them.
There's a cutter over there on the chocolate cake.
The Christmas cupcakes. And we have the dark chocolate cherry fudge and gingerbread fudge. No, after you eat, baby, you can have one, okay?
Okay.
And then holiday popcorn. These are the candy pecans. This is so good. There's some walnuts in there too. So, this is the 30-day cake. This one I made with no coconut, and I put some strawberry cake mix in it. This one is the same thing. And my husband likes coconut, so I did one with straight vanilla cake, and it has coconut in it. So there's that. It's got cherries and pineapple and raisins and peaches and pecans and walnuts. And these are the cookies my brother likes, the store-bought kind. And my kids made these. They're super yummy. And so that's all of the desserts. Alright, my timer went off. This is pretty done. You can tell all the peppers and onions are cooked. So we're going to start adding the meat. First we're going to add the crab and the scallops. Then we'll add the sausage and the chicken. See if I can get it in there without dropping it. And you can add the shrimp. You stir it in. And you want the shrimp to turn pink, and then everything will be done. Once that's done and you see that you might want some more broth, that's when you add this broth. Or you can add some chicken broth if you want to. I just added the filet powder. I'm going to stir it in and put it in a bowl and let y'all see what it looks like when it's all done. So this is what it looks like. You have your scallops, shrimp, andouille sausage, vegetables, and very, very yummy broth. And we're going to serve it up with some cornbread.
Wasn't mine today?
And that's what we're having for Christmas.
Merry